The interrogation room is like a chess game where everyone's trying their best to win. Cops sometimes get suspects to interrogate them using tricks that leave them scratching their heads afterward. We often feel helpless in such situations, yet there are the instances where the crooks outsmart the cops. They know the rules and how cops operate better than anyone. With the gradual experience and smart negotiation practices, they have mastered the art to escape the law enforcing authorities. We would want our viewers to get an experience beforehand. For that, let's move forward to learn these advanced tricks. Here, for about 3 times, criminals escaped out of the interrogation room by being smarter than the cops. In this case, the officers play a game of cat and mouse with their suspect, Mark Denclaw. He's brought in for questioning about the death of Robert Higgins. Robert used to be part of a motorcycle club Mark led, but he was found dead in a field. He had been kicked out of the Gypsy Jokers Club after stealing their money. It said he broke into Mark's house, tied up Mark's girlfriend, and stole money to support his drug habit. In response, Mark and some club members allegedly kidnapped and brutally killed Higgins. The officers in this video are trying to get a confession out of him.
What's your name?
Kevin.
Kevin?
Also with Clark County. Obviously, we're not from Portland. A couple things we need to do before we chat, and then we'll explain everything. You're with a motorcycle club. You have some affiliation with one, is that right?
I don't have any answers for questions like that.
Okay. Well, the reason I'm asking is that a few months back, a gentleman named Jeff Sudan, you know him? He threw your name out in conjunction with kind of a repossession of a car, or collection of a car. Does that sound familiar to you?
No. Jeff Sudan almost might. I'm not sure about that. It seems like Sudan rings a bell somewhere, but no collections of a car. No, I don't know where I'm talking.
But where do you live, sir?
Down by Salem.
Okay. What's your address?
It's on my driver's license. It's
I don't have your driver's license.
You guys have my foothold.
Right from the start, Mark makes it clear that the officers can't control him. They start by asking questions about his ex-girlfriend Nicole to try and catch him off guard. Mark is very alert and quickly demands to know why he has been arrested.
Okay. And you're living with a gal down there, is that right?
No, I kicked her out.
Oh.
She comes and stays. She stays, but she can only stay for 3 days at a time. She's kind of a transient.
Huh. Okay.
I took her off the lease, and the people that I rent the house from said she can only stay for 3 days at a time. So
okay.
If somebody looks in the house, they'll see all her stuff in bags and stuff all piled there on the floor.
When did you kick her out?
Which time? I kicked her out a lot of times.
Numerous times?
Yeah, she just calls me, and she's with no place to go and stuff, and get tugs on the heartstrings, and I pick her up and let her stay for a little while again. It's a love-hate thing.
Okay.
So how long did she stay there before the in and out started?
She was there from the time I moved in until, well, I mean, not steady. She's never been steady there. She's always gets kicked out or moves out and goes and stays with somebody else for a while. She's kind of transients around.
And what's her name?
Nicole.
Okay, so this last time, how long was she?
So there's my background. That's it on Nicole. What else you want to know?
Okay.
Is Nicole the problem here? I mean, I know that she's had the cops over a few times.
Okay.
And she's had problems with the hospital and her.
Tell me about the hospital.
Well, if you don't know about it, then that's not what you're talking to me about. You'd already. Do you know what I'm talking about? Is that what this is about?
No.
Is it about the other night?
It does involve Nicole. So
okay.
I don't know what the hospital thing is, so if that's not part of Nicole's issues, then.
Okay.
So. Nicole had let me back up a little bit. How long have you been in a relationship?
I'm not going to answer any more questions about Nicole. Okay. I don't have any more answers for you until I find out what you're talking about.
Okay, well,
you guys brought me in. I didn't bring you in. I want to hear what you got to talk about.
Well, I'm trying to get to that, but part of that's going to involve how long you've known Nicole.
Well, if you don't want to tell me what the heck I'm doing here, say so. Because I'm not going to sit here and give you a bunch of my background.
The officers want to make Mark talk. They start by asking about his ex-girlfriend, hoping to bring up Robert Higgins later. If they make him seem guilty early on, it might be too late once they mention Robert's name. But Mark isn't falling for it. He's getting upset and won't answer questions until they explain why he's been detained.
Pretty silent room there. I want to know what the heck's going on, man.
Okay. Did you know Nicole back in October?
October of this year?
Last year. 2015.
Well, yeah.
Okay. You guys were living together off and on.
I told you I'm not going to answer any more questions about Nicole until I find out what this is about. Is this a domestic thing? And if so, what am I doing in Portland?
Well, it's kind of a domestic thing. Nicole took off in a car that she may have had purchased with assets that belonged to you or something like that, and then Jeff Sudan and a couple other guys kind of returned that car to you. Does that make sense to you? Is that
Or attempted to.
Or attempted
to.
Hell no.
Okay.
You guys are
So why would they throw?
Well, I'm not going to answer your questions,
Okay.
but without a lawyer anyway, but just because I don't like the action. But you guys are way off, man.
Okay.
You guys don't know. I don't know who's telling these stories, and I'm not sure who Jeff Sudan is, but I can tell you right now, nobody's ever returned a car to me from anybody ever in my life.
so? If we got the story wrong, can you help us out with that?
Well, I'm not going to straighten your story out. No, I'm not. Not until I find out why I'm sitting here.
Okay.
I don't understand. This is about Nicole stealing a car and
No,
somebody.
not stealing necessarily.
Well,
But
why are you playing games? Tell me what
I'm
you're talking about.
not trying to play games, but
Okay.
I'm trying to get at the root of what caused this whole thing. Like I said, this gentleman.
Soon, he catches on to their plan. He knows that he has not committed any crime against Nicole, so this is a trap. When Mark feels he is getting into danger, he changes his technique. He begins to withdraw from the officers and stops feeding into their plan.
I'm not pressing any charges on her,
All right.
and nobody returned any car, and she never took any car from anywhere. So you got the story completely wrong first.
Okay.
So
Their scheme is falling apart, and it is evident they will soon have to address the cause.
Okay.
you're wrong. I'm not gonna tell you the story because it's a personal story, and there's no crime that I'm not gonna press charges about anything.
Okay.
And I would be the only. In the story that you're talking about, there's only one person in the world who could press any charges about it, and that'd be me.
Okay.
And I'm not pressing any charges on her.
All right.
And nobody returned any car, and she never took any car from anywhere. So you got the story completely wrong first.
Okay.
So before you come talk to me about those kind of stories, you should get them right.
Okay.
Get them straight, man.
How would I get them right without chatting with you?
Well, because I'm not here to give you information. That's not what I'm about. I'm not a cop. I'm not going to sit here and feed you information. I don't know. I'm here for some reason. I don't know what your deal is, but you haven't explained that to me yet. Until then, I got no more answers for you about Nicole or cars or anything else. I don't even know what the hell. Why wouldn't if this has to do with that car? Why in the heck am I not the one pressing the charges? I didn't do anything wrong.
Okay. I see your point.
Yeah, well, that's a pretty good point. Yeah.
After a lengthy and complex interrogation, the officers finally mention Robert Higgins. They can't hide their intentions anymore. Mark realizes what's happening and laughs at the officers. With Robert's name now in play, Mark decides it's time to put the lawyer ahead.
Okay. Is Bagger Bob part of that? Part of her junkie friends?
Bagger Bob.
Yeah. That ring a bell?
You're talking, yeah, I know who that is. He's fucking the guy that got killed about a fucking year and a half ago.
Okay.
Yeah.
Was he one of the ones who set this up with Nicole?
Man, you're gonna have to, if you're trying to like tie that into this or something like that, you're gonna have to talk to Nicole about that.
Okay. Well, I was asking you because
Well,
you
got
said it
that.
was her junkie friends, and I assumed that meant you knew.
No, not the kind of junkie that I heard he was. She's not that kind of a junkie.
Okay. Can you help? What kind of junkie is he?
I don't know. I'm sure you probably know better than I do.
So when you say her junkie friends,
Yeah, I'm not talking about any of our ex-fucking club brothers or anything like that.
okay. All right.
I'm talking about her friends, not my friends.
Got it. Okay. So was Bagger Bob one of your friends, not hers?
Yeah, well, like I said, actually, hey, now that fucking you're starting to bring his name into it, and he got killed, now I don't think I have any other questions to answer for you. Now I think having a lawyer here might be a good idea.
Okay. Sorry.
I think that'd be a good idea if you're starting to ask questions about a dead guy.
The officers are determined to keep Mark talking. They know that involving a lawyer will force them to reveal their evidence, losing their advantage of surprise. Mark gives them an ultimatum, explain why he's there, and then they can talk. This isn't what the officers want, so they try to wear him down with more statements and confusing questions. Mark tells them to ask his ex-girlfriend Nicole instead. They used her as a trick at first, and now they regret it. The officers get caught up in their own stories and lose control of the situation.
Well, if she's the one that's involved in the story, you need to talk to the players. I'm not telling you to talk to her.
I understand
I'm telling you to
that.
talk to whatever players you're talking about in your story there. You talk to them, and whoever you said wrote there with me or whatever, talk to them.
But
you guys have kind of also.
So over the last several months, well over half a year, we have talked to a lot of people.
Okay.
Okay. And we can tell you right now, Nicole's in front of a grand jury.
Okay.
Okay. You say talk to her, we have. There's a story there.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that.
So I'm just letting you know that So we have a story, so we want to get your side of it.
Ah, gotcha, okay.
So we know what's true and what's not true.
As a last resort, the officers try to make up a story about Mark and Robert's relationship. They want to show a reason why Mark might have done something wrong. If they can show their relationship was bad, the officer's weak case might have something to stand on. Mark stops this plan quickly. He says Robert was let go from the club because of his addiction. They didn't have any personal problems.
He respected me, I think, and he talked very nice to me anytime I ever saw him.
And the officers were trying to find something that wasn't there. Finally, the officers have to give up. Mark stayed calm, and his last move was to win. He leaves the interrogation room after showing how to avoid being caught for murder.
I'm not going to tell stories about the club and this and that and why, I'm telling you, I've already told you the common stuff. This is what pretty much everybody knows. It ain't hard for you guys to find out that the fucking guy got kicked out of our motorcycle club.
Sure.
That is not hard to find out.
When's the last time you were actually eyes on with Bagger? Was he a club member then, or was it after? Did he ever flip you off at some stop sign?
At the same time he was going, I saw him when he was going out.
Okay.
I saw him go, he wasn't at the same time. Okay. The last time I saw him.
That's the last time.
He was until he couldn't get the fuck out of here, and then he wasn't. So I saw him, he wasn't that same day. That's the last time I've ever seen him.
Okay. Did he ever come by and vandalize anything of yours?
No.
Okay.
Hell no. Bagger.
Well, is he a cheap shot guy, or is he someone?
I really don't know, and like I said, I'm not going to answer questions about Bagger.
Okay, but he never did anything to you.
No.
Okay, you never went eyes on with him again after that when he was out of the club.
He respected me, I think, and he talked very nice to me anytime I ever saw him. I'll tell you that. Me and him never had a bad word. In the end, I found out he was a piece of shit junkie.
Right.
So I admit I hold that against him because I spent a lot of time with the guy and stuff and kind of gave him my heart, sort of like, and so when people just really disgrace us like that and stuff, it leaves a real bad taste in my mouth. I will admit that. But that's the end of it. When you're done with us, you're just done. So anything that happened too much of that, I have no idea. Like I said, one thing about our motorcycle club is when you're done with us, you're just done with us. We got no time for you. We got no words for you. You won't be getting any more calls. Nothing. You know what I mean? You're done. And Bagger's just one of a lot of guys that this same kind of shit happens to. It's part of the life.
Okay.
Even though he manages to get away from prison this time, Mark and his gang are later accused and proven guilty of the murder. Yet, Mark cleverly outwitted everyone during his initial encounter with the officers. Sometimes staying quiet really does pay off, and Jeff Peterson proves it in legendary style. Jeff's reputation for staying silent grows so much that people everywhere start calling him the Legend of Jeff.
I'm not signing nothing.
Okay.
I've been through the system, buddy. I know how it works.
I know you have.
You're
Jeff.
not my friend. All you're trying to get is some stupid ass confession, and you're not gonna get.
Imagine a masterclass in how to deal with police questioning, and Jeff is the teacher. Here's the scene. The police are desperate to pin an armed robbery on Jeff. They're convinced he's the guy, but don't have any solid evidence. They're working off a gut feeling, hoping they can get Jeff to spill the beans. They find him in a house not too far from where the robbery happened and bring him in for questioning. Jeff, as cool as a cucumber, simply wants to know, am I under arrest?
Am I under arrest?
For now.
I'm under arrest.
Yeah, I'll explain everything, but before I explain myself to you, before we talk to each other, I need to read your rights, okay?
What am I under arrest for?
Well, like I said, I need to read your rights first. Obviously, the charge is robbery, okay?
They read him his charter prison rights, and he has probably heard these rights a lot of times.
You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you in the court of law. You have the right to talk to a lawyer for advice before we question you. If you cannot afford to hire a lawyer and you want one, a lawyer will be provided for you. If you decide to answer questions now without a lawyer present, you'll still have the right to stop answering questions at any time. Does that make sense? You've probably heard these before, haven't you?
Jeff decides to use his right to stay quiet. The officers try to make him talk, but Jeff knows what he's doing. Once they say he is under arrest, he asks to go back to his prison cell.
Do you understand your rights, Jeff? Yes or no? You understand?
We're getting paid more than you are, so we can sit here for a long time, man.
I just need you to answer me yes or no. Do you understand your rights? Let's get through that question. Do you understand what I read you? Did you comprehend what I read you?
If you got something that says you didn't do this robbery, this is your chance to talk to us.
Okay, good cop.
No, usually I'm the prick.
You look like the prick.
I am.
I'm not asking if you want to talk to me at this point. I just want to know if you understand what I read to you.
So am I under arrest?
Yes, you're under arrest.
Get me back to the cell. I don't talk to the motherfucker.
Okay, we're done.
2 hours later, the officers bring Jeff back for round 2. This time they try being nice, even offering him a soda. Jeff going through withdrawal.
Want to go? You gonna be able to pop it open, or you need me to?
I need methadone.
Need methadone? I don't have any. Do you have medication for it, or a prescription for it? What do you need methadone for?
I'm a fucking junkie. You guys, I can't sleep on methadone. So I'm gonna go through withdrawal here in a minute.
The officer tries talking about Jeff's addiction to seem friendly, but Jeff sees right through it. He knows this cop isn't his friend and isn't falling for it. Jeff says the officers are just trying to blame him for the robbery, because he was in the wrong place at the wrong time.
When you've been using heroin?
Long time.
10 years? 15 years?
I hardly been alive that long. What are you trying to talk to me about here?
Talk to you about what happened last night. Look, here's the deal. Either you're in a bad set of circumstances, or you went and committed an armed robbery last night.
Yeah,
Right?
I'm in a shitty, wrong place at wrong time, obviously. I didn't commit no fucking wrong.
All right, then let's talk about this. Let's
I don't
not
have
keep
nothing.
up
I
the
don't talk
ante.
to the police, man.
The officer remains steadfast, yet his opponent shows no signs of yielding. Jeff Pearson was located at his friend's residence by the officers, who discovered a gun on him but lacked further evidence that Jeff committed the robbery.
I've been through the system, buddy. I know how it
you
works.
have. I know you have,
You're
Jeff.
not my friend.
I'm not your friend.
You're trying to fucking get me. Or you're
No,
trying
I'm not trying to get
all
you.
you're trying to get is some fucking stupid ass fucking confession, and you're not gonna get one.
Jeff, I'm not going to get a confession out of you for nothing.
Exactly, because I
And
didn't
I'm
do
not trying
nothing.
to get a confession out of you.
Okay, I'm gonna tell you, I didn't commit no armed robbery, and y'all ain't got no fucking evidence saying I did. Let me go. All you did is find me sitting in my buddy's house because my fucking buddy's dog's going ape shit. I go outside, there are cops everywhere, and they spotlight me. They say, "Come here." I say, "What's up?" They search me. They ain't find
Hang on.
nothing. What's
Let
up?
me read this.
No,
Yes.
because I'm not gonna sign it.
You don't have to sign it. But let me read it for you,
I'm
okay?
not signing nothing.
You don't have to sign it.
The officer decides to refer to his rule book and decides to apply the read technique. It is a technique designed specifically to psychologically trick the criminal, which involves polite conversations and sensitive body language. Yet, we see the officer's plan failing. Here, Jeff decides to unfold part 2 of his plan, proceeds ahead with the lawyers. He asks to be returned to the prison cell until then, and the officers can slowly see their case being destroyed.
Tell me what happened last night. Plain and simple. Your side of the story.
I'm not talking to you. I'm going to.
All right. This is what I don't understand. I know, but this is what I don't understand, Jeff. You were sitting there talking just like you were ready to sit here and tell me what happened last night, and then all of a sudden I read that to you and you screw it, I ain't talking to you. I want to lawyer. I don't understand that. What changed? Just in the
Because I told you what. I already told you what happened.
you didn't.
How didn't I?
You didn't tell me what happened last night.
How didn't I
But-
just tell you what?
But now you've handcuffed me, and I can't talk to you because you asked for an
Well,
attorney. So, okay, that's fine. But I will tell you right now, you're still on a hold for a robbery.
I know. I don't know why. I need a fucking lawyer because obviously I didn't do nothing, and obviously you guys know I didn't do nothing because I've been arrested for the same bullshit before, and you guys don't interview me this much. So, wham bam, thank you for the coke. Put me back in the cell.
We
That's
haven't
my
interviewed
home.
you.
The police officers are becoming desperate, so they use a common tactic. They say they have strong evidence and are talking to Jeff to give him a chance to admit the truth. This attempt by the officer is weak, and it's almost embarrassing for him.
Here's what the deal is. I have enough evidence
Like what?
of the armed robbery, okay? But, if you're saying you didn't do it, you need to give me your side of the story.
I didn't do it.
Okay, well, give me your side of the story. You gotta, convince me. Because I got a lot of evidence. I got a lot of physical evidence.
Well, like what? Name.
Well, I don't need to, why should I tell you that?
The officer keeps on questioning Jeff, but he remains quiet while continuously affirming to be innocent. His story remains the same, and there is not a single fallacy to point out. It is hard not to admire his skills.
There's only a couple pieces of evidence I'm missing.
Name it.
What's that?
Name.
Well, why do I need to do that? You haven't helped me out at all. You give me a little bit, I give you a little bit. We go back and forth. I give you one of my pieces of evidence, now give me a little something. Alright? What time do you get over to Aaron's house?
No, anything I say here can and will be used against me.
Sure, but anything you say here, I can also tell your parole officer, and you help me out.
It doesn't mean
After more failed negotiations, Jeff stops the officer's attempts. He starts coughing up blood and requests to go to the hospital. If this is part of his act, Jeff is really committing to his role. Once again, another criminal walks out of jail, leaving the officers shocked.
I'm done, man. Fuck this. I'm not even answering. All this shit that I just said is gonna be fucking written in the discovery now, right?
What? You haven't said nothing.
I mean, every little stupid thing that you've asked me, dude, is gonna be in the discovery.
I'm not even going to do discovery.
The prosecutor is.
Okay. I mean, you halfway know the system, how things work, and you halfway don't. Am I right?
I half-ass know
Yeah.
that the only reason I came up here is to get fucking coke.
Yeah.
And I got it. But now I want a Butterfinger.
But that's not going to happen for a while.
What, the Butterfinger?
Yeah.
Why not? I need to go to the hospital. I'm coughing up blood. Let's go to the hospital.
Do you want to know about the famous rappers who deceived the cops? Rapper DaBobby, aka Jonathan Kirk. In a twist fit for a Hollywood comedy, DaBobby found himself in an uneasy situation with the cops after a wild night out. A club promoter insisted he got roughed up and robbed of 20 grand by DaBobby and his crew. All the cops had was blurry CCTV footage of a fight involving some mystery men. Determined to crack the case, they tried to corner DaBaby in the interrogation room, but instead of cracking under pressure, the video shows DaBaby literally running circles around the befuddled officers. He was totally relaxed and unbothered by the entire case.
What's your full name?
We just want to go through. This is just a formality. Just tell your name, your date of birth, and all that stuff.
This is not his first time face-off with the law enforcement officers. He has been in such situations before and works according to a game he has planned in his mind. The name of the game is Deny, Deny, Deny. DaBaby claims that although there was a meeting at his hotel with the promoter, the deal fell through and everybody went their separate ways.
An incident occurred at the hotel, 1500 Southwest First Avenue. That you were there for, correct?
What incident?
An incident. You had an altercation with somebody?
No.
You didn't. Did you have any business dealing with somebody?
No.
You didn't.
No.
So somebody didn't bring you $20,000 in front of the hotel in your SUV?
No. Somebody bring $20,000 that wasn't theirs and lied to them and told them it was for an event of theirs on the 31st. And lied to them. That person, once he realized they were doing bad business, said nah and left with his $20,000.
Okay, so you didn't count it?
And got my contact information to do business the right way. That's what happened.
Around what time was this, sir?
I don't know. Every time they told it. Whatever time the camera showed me not robbing no damn body that time.
All the officers had to go on was fuzzy footage obtained from the hotel. This interrogation was their attempt to bully DaBaby into admitting the truth. Knowing that the officers have nothing on him, DaBaby instructs them to do their jobs and find the real culprits.
Common sense. Common sense. You know what I made to even be down here? A promoter booked me at that hotel. I didn't pay to be at the hotel. I was paid for. You'd have let me in my room, you would have saw close to $250 million cash, legally, hard-earned money. I don't got to take nothing from nobody, bro.
Well, let me ask you this.
I will go outside here right now and throw $10,000 in the air. Like, I do not care about money. I don't.
Was there an argument?
No, it was an argument. I didn't argue with a soul. My voice was never raised. There was never aggressive language from me. None of that.
Was there a fight?
None of that. No, I ain't seen no fight. And nothing's taken. We shouldn't be in no robbery. So when y'all get done doing what y'all doing, y'all need to do y'all job. Y'all need to follow y'all process. And y'all need to arrest whoever gave y'all these false allegations, bro. This bullshit.
The problem the officers were facing was that the only thing that could pin DaBaby to the location of the crime was his vehicle. They wanted to keep him talking until he said something they could latch onto. Their plan was clearly failing. DeBaby's smooth tongue worked in his favor. First, he completely distanced himself from his vehicle by claiming that he had been using Uber to get around. By doing this, the officers were not able to tie him to the incident. The second trick up his sleeve was to destroy motive completely. He claimed that the money stolen in the robbery was chump change. As the interrogation proceeds, it is evident that DeBaby has an advantage.
When I encountered you in the hotel, you came back to the concierge, the counter. Yeah. Where were you coming from at that point?
Prime time, whatever the hell I went to eat. I went to get some food.
Where is that? You don't know?
No.
How'd you get there?
In the car.
What kind of car? Was it a car you drove? Somebody else drove? A Uber?
Yeah.
What kind of car was it? Small car, SUV, truck? What?
I don't know. Let's talk about what matters.
Why would you
talk about what y'all need to get me about this stuff? When I'm driving in the car, when I went to go eat, what time I went, that don't have nothing to do with the fact I ain't robbed a damn soul. Me, nobody around me, ain't nobody robbing nobody.
Let's take the word robbery out of the picture.
So while we here, we taking the word robbery out of the picture. Y'all robbery detectives. This is robbery unit. That's the second word he said. It's the second word he said when he came in here, robbery. Come on, bro.
Okay, listen.
He told me, he asked a question to me about a robbery when I walked in my hotel. Robbery? I had every answer to the question you needed right there. Whoa, that ain't it. That's false. Okay, I can throw that out the window. We talking about robbery, bro. It's nothing for me to talk about. I didn't rob.
So do you think that we just woke up this morning and decided to just...
I think y'all got a phone call from somebody that's already a liar. I know they're a liar. Got a phone call from somebody that's a liar and y'all bought it. Y'all believe this. Y'all got me in here and y'all put me in handcuffs. Brought me outside the hotel in handcuffs, cameras and shit all on me. Come on, bro. This shit is bad for what I got going on. And I ain't gonna do shit to that, man.
Dababy keeps messing with the cops. He's so sure of himself that he doesn't even ask for a lawyer, which usually lands folks in jail. We'll see if this bold move pays off. The officers are scrambling to gather more info to place him at the location. The officers try to collect more details about his whereabouts to see if they can pin him at the location.
Talking about criminals. When I do business, it's legally binding. It's legally binding. Everything I do, you have to sign a contract. You got to sign a contract.
Okay,
it's a contract right now.
The whole incident happened and nothing went wrong. Nothing happened. There was no...
Not to my knowledge.
There was no fight. There was no scuffle. There was no...
I ain't fighting nobody. But y'all know it's too much. Y'all know too many lies. You get what I'm saying? That's why y'all got to move backwards like that, bro. Like
you're saying that they're lies, but you don't know what we have or don't have.
Okay. I know if y'all had proof of me robbing somebody, we wouldn't even be talking. Y'all would have cuffed me. I would be charged with it. That's what I know, bro. That's what I know.
They're getting nowhere. DeBaby keeps denying everything and tells the officers that the club promoter wanted him to perform, but he refused because the pay was too low. DeBaby's last move is to point out the flaws in the officers' evidence. He asks if they have any real footage of him meeting the promoter. It's clear that he's revealed the officers' weak case, forcing them to admit defeat.
My side of the story, I ain't done that. I don't have a side of the story. I ain't done nothing to nobody.
So that's what I want.
And before something could be done to me, and before something could be done to me, I realized I was dealing with bad business, and I removed myself from it. What?
Why you say it was bad business?
I already told y'all that. You want to wind this? You want to wind it, bro? I already told y'all, bro. My story not gonna come out different no matter how many times I say it, bro. It's not, bro. It's right here. So you press stop and rewind and play, I'm going here. That's why I said it was bad business, bro. Come on, bro. There's nothing going my phone up. I say, oh, man, he needed my help. But here's the thing. He already was in deep water because he's already doing, and I see why, he's already doing bad business. You see what I'm saying? He has an event that wasn't going to go as planned. He needed me to make up for that. He needed me to cover his ass, so he brought in another person, lied to him, swindled him. He thinking he coming to book me for a whole different event. And they tricking him, got him paying me to come do a walk through the night. Come on, bro. He niggas full of shit. And matter of fact, check them cameras. Y'all got crime scene investigation unit out there, check the cameras. See him meet up with somebody else in the lobby. Ask him, hey, who's that? Ask him. Follow up on what I'm telling y'all.
That's what we're trying
I
to
mean,
do.
at the end of the day, I would expect people to act on common sense.
DeBobby manages to get out of prison this time again. After making an immense effort, he takes a short nap. After 48 hours, DeBaby walks out of prison a free man, leaving the police officers confused. Feels as if it has been a cakewalk for him now. Turns out, he's not just smooth on the mic, but also in the interrogation cell. Thank you for watching. YouTube algorithm thinks you will like this video the best, so watch it and find out if it is right.